And we're back live on the Mid Morning Talk Show with me, your host, Rashida Khan. And I'm thrilled, absolutely thrilled to have our next guest in studio or on the line with us, Ntokozo Ndlovu. But before that, let me just remind you, you can WhatsApp us on our 061 766 0355 line or our studio line. You can submit your questions or comments 011-680-0355. Our X hashtag is X handle is at Salam Media, all one word. And if you are making any comments, please use the hashtag Mid Morning Talk, all one word. Okay, so now we're going to be talking to our good friend Ntokozo Ndlovu, whose mission is to empower through books. Okay, and we're going to be talking about his literary activism, bridging the gap. So before I introduce you, I just want to read a little bit about Ntokozo. Of course, I cannot go through everything. So Ntokozo Ndlovu is an author and the founder of the Web Foundation, an NPO, and Siafunda Donated Book, which was established in 2015. The primary objective involved collecting and donating books and opening up libraries in primary schools in rural and remote communities. To date, they've helped 70 rural schools establish libraries in over 35 communities in 9 provinces across the country. Over the last 8 years, they've managed to donate over 950,410 books to rural schools and communities, reaching over 80,480 pupils. That's incredible. That's almost a million books. Well done to you, Ntokozo. They also work in the digital space, digitally transforming rural schools. They've established 11 computer centers in 11 schools, and each center has 10 computers. So that's also an amazing thing. Thank you. What they say is that because the South African literacy landscape is in turmoil, they believe that a book can help turn the situation around, one page at a time. The communities that they work in are underprivileged and often secluded from basic amenities. Taking it one school at a time, we aim to balance the equation and equalize literacy opportunities. That's amazing. Well done. So, amongst their awards, they've won the Gauteng Youth Excellence Awards in 2016, Mail and Guardian Top 200 Young South Africans in 2020, and they've been awarded the annual Time of the Writer Literature Champion Award in 2021. Hi, Ntokozo, and welcome to the Mid Morning Talk Show here on Salam Media.
Hello, Rashida, and to the viewers, if there are any that are watching and listening to us. Thank you so much for having us on the show. Looking forward
pleasure
to the great conversation.
Yeah. Yes, absolute pleasure to have you. You're looking good as always. I hope you all recovered from your flu you had last week. But I know no matter what the situation is, you're always busy. You're always doing everything you can to promote reading and literacy. So tell me, Ntokozo, what motivated you to start Siafunda Donate a Book?
If I just take you back, I'm from a place called Impendle. It's in a rural part of the province, KZN. So that's where I come from, and where there are few libraries. However, the ones that are there, they didn't have books, like proper books for kids. So that's how the organization or Siafunda Donated Book was started. When I took my niece to the library, and then we didn't have books. The books that were there were books donated by some farmers, some white farmers who lives around the area. So they donated a lot of old books, books that are not suitable for kids.
Yes.
And then that's how I started to post it on Facebook, get people to donate, and then expanding it into writing to big organizations like Biblionaire, Dash, requesting books, and then they gave us books. We started distributing these books to schools, and it became massive, and the demand then was overwhelming, and that's how.
I mean, we had another guest earlier, Cindy Zulu, and she was actually telling us how important it is to make sure that the books that are being provided to the young kids are ones that they will be interested in. So, I mean, if you're getting books that the kids have no interest in, they don't know anything about the particular topic or subject, they're not going to be encouraged to read. So books need to be also aligned with the child, the particular circumstances, the age group, etc. But you say your journey started with a simple Facebook post asking for book donations. What was the moment that made you realize and say, this is not just a small campaign, it's a movement?
Well, yeah, it started on a Facebook post. And by the way, the first person that responded to our request is a guy called Vincent Msane. He lives
Mm-hmm.
in Mpangeni, in the far northern Zululand.
Yes,
And then he got books from, he has a friend who works at a library in Richards Bay. So
yes,
they said they can donate a lot of books being discarded from that library. And then we had to make a plan, and we spoke to a post office. They gave us a massive discount. Then the books went straight home.
mm-hmm.
They were delivered home, and yeah. So it's very much important to have the books that kids can relate to. I believe that in order to instill this love for books, we need to attract them. If they love soccer, you need to have books that speak about soccer. You need to have books that speaks
Absolutely.
about, yes, it speaks about swimming, that speaks
Mm-hmm.
about animals. People that can kids can relate to these things, and they love these things. So cartoons, for instance,
Mm-hmm.
your Hulks, your Spider-Man and stuff like that, have it in a form of a book, not they must end up only watching these movies or these series or these cartoons, but let them read about them, let them read about their heroes.
Yes.
Have books about Nelson Mandela, let them
Mm-hmm.
learn the history and teach them while they're still young, the history of South Africa and stuff like that.
Yeah. So in Siafunda over the last probably 10, 12 years has donated nearly 1 million books and set up libraries in 70 schools. So I imagine you've touched so many lives and you've made an impact on so many people, so many communities. But can you share just one story? I always like to know those one little anecdotes that make it so real for our listeners. One story where you actually saw either an individual, a young person or a young child, or even a whole community being transformed just by having access to books and just by being able to visit a library and have a physical book to be able to read.
Two, just from my mind now.
Yes.
There's a lot of them, but
Mm-hmm.
two. One, in 2018, we went to Limpopo, a place called Pegasfort. There's a school there called Sehloyi Primary School. We met the child was, I think, grade 5, grade 6, somewhere there. I
Mm-hmm.
can't remember properly.
Mm-hmm.
So when we got there, she was very excited to receive books, like children's
Mm-hmm.
books, because she loves reading.
Yes.
And then we then donated the books, and then we did our thing. And down the line, the child moved or graduated from primary school to another high school within the same community. And then we decided to just track this kid and monitor
Mm.
her and try and say, if you do good in your matric, we will definitely get you a scholarship or get someone that can pay
Wow.
for it. And then indeed, so then now and then every year we go to that school just to go and see her. We've given her a laptop, we've given her a printer, we've given her
Amazing.
like other books.
Mm-hmm.
And then she passed matric 2022. No,
Mm-hmm.
2023. She passed matric.
Right.
She's now at UJ, We got the
Well
guy
done.
to pay for his studies. He bought him brand new laptop. He paid for accommodation. He paid for the student and the school fees for the lady. The lady did brilliantly the first year.
Uh-huh.
She sent me the statement. It's beautiful. I can share it with you. I'll check for it. She's doing well. She's doing a second year this year.
Yeah.
So, and we always in contact with her.
Excellent. I mean, it's amazing. I always say it's amazing what motivation can do for a young person. I believe that every young child has a right to be able to reach their full potential. And the way that they can do that, or one of the ways that they can actually be able to do that, is to believe in themselves. But how do you get a child to believe in themselves? There's only one way: by showing that you believe in them. If they
Yes.
understand that somebody believes in them. So this young lady, she was motivated because you said, I'm going to make sure that I'm going to do whatever I can to assist you. So she knew that you believed in her, and then she believed in herself, and she made sure that she's now successfully studying. So well done on that. So now
Thank you.
another little bit of a difficult question in Ntokozo. South Africa's literacy crisis, and we know there's a crisis. We know we've got a big problem with not just literacy, but also comprehension, right? So it's not just, sometimes children are able to read, recognize the words, recognize the sounds, and read, but not understand what they're reading. So they're reading without comprehension. So this literacy crisis is deeply tied to inequality. We know that
Yeah.
obviously the stats are skewed amongst African children, amongst rural, underprivileged, underdeveloped areas, underprivileged schools. From your frontline work, what systemic gaps frustrate you the most? And how are you, as Siafunda, trying to dismantle them?
Well, one, it's true. We're living in a very unequal society.
Mhm,
So our challenge that we're trying to bridge the gap is the easy access to books
mhm,
to underprivileged communities, rural, even township, informal settlement, and places like that. Because people are living to survive. People are living to for the next day. As
yes,
long as
just to
there's a
put bread
shelter,
on the table.
food. Yes, yes, yes. So they don't have like enough money or the luxury to just go and spend 1,000 rand on books.
Mhm,
So then this is where we come in now to say we want to help. We want these kids to read. However, because we see our government is unable to provide proper functional libraries in all the
mhm,
schools. Hence, we then do what we do is to make sure that kids in libraries, even at home, you get book dash that says, don't keep the books at home. Take it in school. Take it with you when you go
mhm.
home, so that you can be
Yes.
able to read when you're at home. So that's what they are pushing. They said, and we also fully agree with them, and we want the kids to read, and we want the kids to read in school also, and it
Mhm,
will just expand their level of understanding of the world, of the future, their careers that they want to maybe explore. In books there's a lot of ideas, motivation, inspiration, and knowledge on different career path that one can take. So
mhm.
it's just books are critical. They are not just
Absolutely.
a luxury, they are critical part of our lives.
Absolutely. I mean, I can attest personally to how being a reader has made me a more empathetic person. It's not obviously it makes you cleverer because you have access to more knowledge, but more importantly, it makes you, I think, a better human being. Because when you read stories and you understand that everybody has challenges, everybody has difficulties, you immediately understand that whoever you're engaging with and dealing with, you don't know what they're going through. You don't understand. So you always want to be just a little bit more patient, a little bit more compassionate, a little bit more understanding. And I think that's such an important part. Sometimes we miss that. We talk about the importance of education, the importance of reading for education, but it also gives you, reading gives you such critical and important life skills. They help you to navigate life much, much better. They give you a better understanding of life as a whole, not just on the academic side. So, to move on from
Yes.
that, I want to ask you, Ntokozo, please, your motto is no rural child left behind. I'm asking
Yes.
this because I understand I worked with you to, roll out trolley libraries in a few schools over the last year or two. And I know how careful you are about selecting the schools that receive the books. Not that you want to be selective in terms of keeping people, but you want to ensure that, because I know you get hundreds of applications a month from so many schools, and you cannot obviously fulfill all of those. But what I'm asking is, how do you work with the communities, the school community, and the wider community in the area as well? Work with them, not just for them, to ensure these libraries or even these labs that you bring in the school, the computer labs, how are they sustainable and truly meet the needs of the schools and that community?
I'll tell you a short story now. The challenge that we are
Yes.
experiencing, it's the very same point. So there's a school called Magama Primary School here at Kwamakut. Beautiful school, one of the best schools that I've ever went to.
Yes.
The principal there says, Ntokozo, we appreciate the books. Or this is where we donated the container library. We appreciate the books, the container, but we have one challenge. We have two volunteers from the community. They are part of the SGB, so they are
Mm-hmm.
involved in day-to-day running of the school. So, but the challenge is they can't even give these two volunteers at the end of the month maybe something to for them to go buy their groceries at home or buy it's women, so they need to take care of themselves. A smaller
Yes.
than a stipend because they are
Yes.
fully active in school, and the community then said they will at least pop out 10 rand, 20 rand each.
Mm-hmm.
And then at least at the end of the month, these two volunteers are getting something from now. So
Mm-hmm.
we've seen the role of the community, not just it at here in Wamakuta, but in other provinces as well, where we have been to, where in Limpopo, for an example, at Mokobola Primary School, there's this old man who is fully active and he takes care of the library. So he's the one
Mm-hmm.
that built, when we donated computers, he built the backlight gates, he built the
Wow.
bookshelves, he
Wow.
built everything. He has his own tools, and he gathers other old people and especially males to
Mm-hmm.
do something for the school. They're cleaning the school, they're looking after the school. They at night they are changing, they got duties, So it's very encouraging for
Yes.
us when we try to support the community, and they are also meeting us halfway and saying, no, don't worry, Ntokozo, we'll take care of these computers. We will make sure we get somebody that will teach these kids these computers. We'll get a volunteer, and they
Right.
can find volunteers because their kids are
Mm-hmm.
unemployed, they've matric, so they are familiar with computer literacy. So they brought in two ladies, I think. These two
Mm-hmm.
ladies, we gave them our program and our of computer literacy, basic computer literacy. They went through it. They even designed their own programs, designed their own calendar on when and how to teach these kids. And on top of that, they opened this center, this computer center, for the whole community to come and learn. Even the kids that are in high school to come to the school during weekends. These old men will open the gates, will open the class, and then they will teach. So it's very nice what is happening, and it's very progressive, and we are inspired.
Absolutely. It is very encouraging. I mean, Cindy, our earlier guest as well, spoke about her DIY librarian activists. These are people who come in voluntarily, give off their time, give off their skills, and are really doing something to assist the young people. And it's interesting because 2 weeks ago, or last week, I think it was, I spoke to Dr. Kate Phillip, who's involved in youth unemployment, and she was talking about not just the monetary value of labor, but the social value of labor. And if we can change our mindset about that, and be able to uh, get more people involved and get more people doing something active and something giving back to the community, we're going to go a long way. I mean, there's so much of need apart from just in libraries and at schools. There's so much of need in our communities. There's so much that needs to be done. And thank you for that, Ntokozo. Thank you for your time today. It's been inspiring as always to speak to you. I want to wish you well. I want to wish you as much as you need, all of that you need to be able to do now, because I know if you can have your way, you will ensure that no school is ever without a library, and no library is ever without an activist from the community helping the kids to learn and to be able to use those books safely and confidently and grow together as a nation. Thank you again to Ntokozo. I hope we chat soon. Stay well, my
Thank you
friend.
so much. Thank you so much for this conversation. Every time we have this conversation, something happens.
Yes,
Something
something
very deep.
sparks. Yes,
Yes. So, oh, by the way, let me just be to your viewers and to you also. I'm about
yes.
to I have another meeting now at 1, just across the road in Bluff.
Hmm.
We want to open a charity bookshop
Oh,
within this area,
excellent.
or
Yes.
bookshop or second-hand charity bookshop. We're trying to raise some funds.
Right.
And we have a lot of books, like tons and tons of books that are still in good condition. The content is good, but we
Mm-hmm.
want to encourage also adults to read at the same time while we creating easy access to books. And we want to have that space where we can, have bookish conversations with
Yes.
like-minded people, and at the same time doing it for Siafunda donated books, so that we are able maybe to buy more children's books, get to visit these schools. And so yeah,
Mm.
I'm just going to negotiate now the rent there. Yeah, and see
Mm.
if we can move in maybe next month or so, and then
Well,
yeah.
all the best to you. All the best to you. I mean, I know that you have a similar situation in Pretoria with the with the
Yes.
with the bookstore there, and I know that that's a very very promising and lucrative bookstore there. So I hope this works out for you. Yeah, and we didn't even get a chance to talk about your reading corner, but next time when
Oh
when we
yeah.
have an opportunity, the next time we're going to talk about that. Thank you very much again for your time, and we're going to say goodbye, and we'll be having an ad break now before we connect to our next guest. Thank you so much. Goodbye.
Thank you so much, Rashida. Thank you.